2, 3. Light check. 1, 2, 3.
Good. CC,
Your turn.
You got it, Amy, right?
Okay, we're good.
Okay. This is This is Sierra about was yesterday and today. But this isn't yesterday and today yet. This is the promo for the coming segment similar to
Yes. Where I, as Dontez Taylor, Tim Sokol, as Dontez Taylor's co-host of In the Community, will also be receiving my own special segment called the Sim with Tim, where I will talk about how to prepare budget-friendly meals for around $10. And I will be asking the contributors in Radioland to send in their favorite around $10 possible recipes.
How interesting. So, how did you come up with the idea for Sim with Tim?
I came up with the idea for Sim with Tim because WUCP needed a good old-fashioned etiquette show where people would where I would also talk about how to properly set the table, which forks and knives and silverware to use on special occasions.
Like, fun fact, did you know there's actually a fork called a salad fork?
Yes. And there is that fork and spoon combination called a spork that nobody ever knows when to use when.
Yeah, the fork confuses America.
The spork just confuses America.
Yeah.
So hopefully I'll be able to take some of the confusion out of kitchen gadgets and kitchen methods and things like that along the way with this new segment.
So, Tim, do you have a recipe for us to go over since this is technically the promo?
Yes.
As he shuffles the papers. 10 minutes later.
We could start with a good old-fashioned tuna noodle casserole from scratch. Very old-fashioned dish, but nobody makes old-fashioned meals anymore.
Yeah. Everything is microwavable now. Even your bacon can be microwavable. Which...
Yes, even bacon with the right kind of cooking tray can be microwavable.
I don't understand.
And while I'm sure we'll get into a segment, I'm sure we'll have to get into a segment of those kind of recipes later too, I thought some good old-fashioned ideas would be better to start out with at first. So here we go, radio audience. A half a cup of butter, divided. 1 8-ounce package of uncooked medium egg noodles. 1/2 medium onion, finely chopped. a stalk of celery finely chopped, 1 clove of garlic minced, which is a fine dice for those of you who don't know what a mince is, 8 ounces of button mushroom sliced, 1/4 of a cup of AP or all-purpose flour for your sauce, 2 cups of milk, salt and pepper to taste, 2 5-ounce cans tuna drained and flaked, 1/2 cup frozen peas thawed. Unless you can't digest peas like I can, then you can leave them out of the recipe.
Yeah.
Because one doesn't want to mess up one digestions too much, I find.
Yeah. And if you have like a seafood allergy, and like I know I have a seafood allergy.
You can make the same sort of dish with the pre-canned chicken, probably.
Yeah, pre-canned chicken. So don't worry, the sensitive people. We have recipe for you soon.
Then it would be chicken noodle casserole instead of tuna noodle, but your option for 3 tablespoons breadcrumbs, 2 tablespoons butter melted, a 1/2 cup of shredded 1 cup of shredded cheddar cheese. And then you preheat your oven to 375. You preheat your oven to 375 degrees Fahrenheit, 190 degrees Celsius. You butter a medium baking dish with 1 tablespoon of butter. Bring a large pot of lightly salted water to a boil. Add egg noodles and cook for 8 to 10 minutes until al dente and drain. Then you mix 1 tablespoon butter in a skillet over medium-low heat. Stir in the onion, celery, and garlic and cook 5 minutes until tender. Increase heat to medium-high and mix in mushrooms. Continue to cook and stir 5 minutes or until most of the liquid has evaporated. Melt 4 tablespoons butter in a medium saucepan and whisk in flour until smooth. Gradually whisk in milk and continue cooking 5 minutes until sauce is smooth and slightly thickened. Season with salt and pepper. Stir in either the tuna or the chunk chicken, pea and the peas, and the mushroom mixture, and the cooked noodles. Transfer to the baking dish. Melt remaining 2 tablespoons butter in a small bowl with breadcrumbs and sprinkle over the casserole. Top with cheese. Bake 25 minutes in the preheated oven or until bubbly and lightly browned.
Oh.
Doesn't that just sound simply delicious? And you could serve it with lightly toasted garlic butter bread if you wanted to too. Or even some nice fluffy out of the frozen aisle wampum biscuits that you bake from frozen.
Oh, those wampum biscuits are really good. But I have a question.
Yes?
So the recipe calls for all-purpose flour, right?
Right.
What's the difference between all-purpose flour and regular flour?
Well, all-purpose flour is regular flour, although they do have a thing called cake flour, which is sometimes used for baking certain kinds of cake, making certain kinds of cake batters and breads, because
Speaking of cake,
it has a lower gluten content.
speaking of cake, today is the UCP's International Food Day.
And yes, we got together and made a team with the
CEO
of the radio station.
Darian.
And the Reverend Darian Fan, who is currently away from his position today. So we're happily taking over his duties here at the station.
Yeah.
And we just wanted to mention once again the International Day the International Afternoon part of the day.
Mm-hmm.
And stop by and see our table for the dessert at your International Day.
Oh,
Ye old bakers.
yeah. And we made a colonial chocolate cake with
Boiled with Laura Ingalls Wilder's of the Little House on the Prairie time. Early American icing or frosting, boiled frosting.
So,
Both the frosting and cakes smelled wonderful when they were on the stove. So come by, we know you'll enjoy it.
yeah. Pay $5 to taste all
the foods that were made
food
that were made by everybody starting at 11:30.
Yeah.
Starting at approximately 11:30.
So come down, get the food, taste some food, eat the food, taste it.
And tell us what you think.
Yeah.
And judge for yourself and tell us what you think.
And you cannot get seconds. So if you really like the cake, I'm sorry, only one.
However, as part of the informational part of the story,
Yeah.
the recipe for both the cake and maybe the frosting will be provided
On the table. So come see the new host of Sim with Tim and the host of Yesterday and Today, me.
at around 11:30.
Yeah. So,
If you want to try our ye old baker's cake.
yeah. So I I'm kind of perturbed, 'cause Tim,
What are you perturbed about?
because we're all adults, and we all know the fundamental skills of cooking, right? But most of us, like myself and CEO Darian Fan, have worrisome parents, and they don't let us near the stove. They don't let us near the stove.
That's why I guess in the future, if people would be willing to submit some either microwave recipes
Yeah, that we
or possibly some electric skillet recipes for those of you who know what one is.
like a Foreman grill.
Yes.
Oh,
Or even some Foreman grill recipes
yeah.
that would make it much better.
Yeah, so we can cook too, but there's also a difference with cooking safety.
Yeah. There are several tabletop cooking devices one can use, cooking slash plug-in tabletop cooking devices that one can use these days
Yeah.
and use safely with adults with other adults in the room
Like your
than
mom,
us.
like your mama, and Tim's case, like a
Yeah,
staff.
from my group home, right?
Yeah. Because we don't want you lovelies getting burnt or burn down your houses trying to cook these meals. So
Yes.
before each episode, we're gonna say that the show
Yes.
is PG.
Always remember to follow all kitchen fire safety precautions.
Please get your fire detector checked and change the battery every 6 months.
Yes. Stopping house fires before they start will lead to less tragedy in the future.
Yes. And I feel sorry for the kids who are growing up now that don't know the difference between home cooked food because they're so used to microwavable food.
And yeah, they don't know the real from scratch home cooked foods because they're so used to fast food or microwavable food.
There's a video. There's a video. It's about McDonald's French fries, and this guy lit the fry on fire. You think the fry would like dissolve? The fry didn't dissolve.
Oh dear. That just tells us the kind of horrible things we might be putting into our system when we
eat McDonald's fries, but they're so good.
right.
They're so delicious. But we don't know what we're putting in our body, just like Cheetos. You know the flaming Cheetos?
We don't know the kind of chemicals they use to get them to be
Delicious.
as delicious.
Okay, let me put a disclaimer. Before Tim's show starts, I'm going to say this. If you're squeamish and you have food allergies, this show may not be
the best thing for you to listen to.
Yeah, because we don't want this happening.
Yeah, we don't want to create incidents.
Yeah, so when we come back, we're going to talk more about chemicals and what not to put in your food.
Body, and what not to put in your body.
And we're back with Instead of in the Community with Dontez Taylor.
Your preview episode of The Sim with Tim.
Starring Tim Sokol.
Right. Oh, and let me just pass on one more little piece of information. Even in my show, kitchen gossip would be permitted. So if anybody knows any good kitchen gossip,
Like kitchen hacks.
yeah, we can feel free.
Or kitchen failures.
Yeah. If anybody wants to talk about either kitchen hacks or fixes or their kitchen failures by sending them to the show, please feel free to do so and help us to spread the word and maybe avoid future situations for others.
And I would like to say this. Tim is our assistant producer for WUCV. and he's so knowledgeable about a lot of things. And I think he really deserves the show. I think it would be very beneficial to hear like a male Julia Childs. But
Yes.
rest in peace, Julia Childs.
Yes. No disrespect to the late Julia Child, who was a big mentor for home cooks everywhere.
And a big inspiration for Paula Dean, who's no longer allowed to be on TV. We're not gonna go there, but
Yes.
maybe that'll be an episode, the Paula Dean controversy.
Yes. Yes. Controversial kitchen celebrities. We could also talk on this show about people's favorite controversial kitchen celebrities.
Yeah, and if you like hearing my voice, stay tuned for yesterday and today when we talk about Tom and Jerry. So stay tuned. Speaking about new shows in 2018, we're gonna have a lot of news. We're gonna have 2 new shows, hopefully. 2 new shows joining the WCP family. Sim with Tim Sogol, and the remake starring Rico and Wayne. Hopefully.
Oh, Rico and Wayne's show should be very interesting. Those two are entertaining even by talking to each other.
Yeah. So you 2 are gonna love them, but we're gonna label their show a PG-13. Tim's show is rated G some episodes.
Yes.
Most of the shows are rated G.
Yes. Although for some younger audience members, they might want to get
Parental guidance
adult guidance involved.
when listening. Remember the boring episodes, kids? Please listen. And I will do a disclaimer before I do the Tom and Jerry show this morning. But Tim, we only have 5 minutes left. So Tim, is there anything you want to say before we wrap up?
Please also feel free, listening audience, like I said before, to climb on our Facebook page here at United Cerebral Palsy of Greater Cleveland and support the new segment of the show. Hopefully, the staff around our building will turn out today for the International Foods Afternoon to help support the end of our Harvest for Hunger campaign.
Each half of the money we raise
Goes to Harvest for Hunger
so
to feed needy families in our city.
because
So please, staff of the building, be generous when you're thinking about helping out with this project, which will wrap up today.
sadly, there are so many families in Cleveland that don't know when their next
Meal is coming from.
Yeah. And you might know somebody that is going through this terrible situation. So God bless and
Do whatever you can to help out your fellow neighbors.
you will hear Tim back in like 2 weeks because Tim's supposed to be on vacation, but I kind of made him do this promo because he really needs this show. So people, help him out if you can. Submit a recipe, how much it costs, and how much.
Or any other helpful kitchen hacks to go along with the recipe, or helpful quick fixes or kitchen hacks as they call them, to go along with your recipe on our UCP Facebook page.
I wish I knew Rachel Ray. I would call her and be like, Rachel, get over here and help. You know, Rachel Ray has awesome cookware.
Yes, and I even own a couple of her cookbooks, and I recently met another one of my favorite chefs, Michael Simon, and got an autographed book of his latest barbecue recipes too.
Ooh. Barbecue.
Yeah, which is the favorite summer thing. So can't wait to start testing some of those recipes myself and talk about it on my show coming up.
So see you next time. But up next is the L&T Sports Blitz with my cousin Leon Stanford and Tyrone Peak. See you next week with In the Community with Dontez Taylor. Bye-bye.
Bye.